Hello, this is Rod, Appraiser Broker. It is February 24th, 2020. There are some very interesting things happening in the market. And one of the things that's happened, this is a site called kitco.com where you can actually look to see, how much you can buy precious metals for, like gold and silver and platinum. But even though I'm not one that follows the stock market a lot, today the stock market dropped. Look at this right here. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average that dropped over 1,000 points. The day's not over yet. This can change. The plunge protection team will probably do all they can to stop the market from dropping. Now, who knows how long they may be able to do that. But this is a significant drop. I believe that it was over 3%. It's the largest drop in the stock market in over 5 years. A lot of people have been moving out of the stock market into real estate and into precious metals. Now you'll notice here the gold and silver, it shows here that they've gone up. Let me just change that just a little so you can see it. And so it shows they've gone up around 1% today. The truth is earlier today, both gold and silver had gone up around 2%. In fact, silver, I believe, had gone up around 2.5%. And those are not things that they're not likely to drop as much as other things can. For example, in the stock market, you've certainly got a possibility of things approaching zero or going all the way to zero if there's not a demand for those anymore. But usually when the market gets a little bit rough, people start moving into gold and silver. And the gold and silver have actually gone up in the last, in the last year, they've gone up 15 to 20%. And they've been kind of dragging bottom the last several years. But I believe that they're probably on their way into a bull market that's incredible, because I've actually known people who have been selling some of their real estate and putting money not into the stock market, but into precious metals. Now, I believe very much in real estate. I'm a real estate agent. I'm also a state certified appraiser in the state of Utah. I've been in the real estate industry for 20 years. I've actually invested a lot of my money into domain names like lehihomes.com, orumhomes.com, and others, so that I can be in a position to hopefully get the most for my clients out of their properties. When I put a sign out front that says lehihomes.com in front of a property in Lehi, a lot of people remember that. They certainly remember that more than my name, Rod. Realtor Rod, a lot of people call me. And I know thousands of people, but there are hundreds of thousands of people in the valley that have no clue who I am. But they know that if they're looking for a home in Lehi and they see a sign out front that says lehihomes.com, or looking in Orem and see a sign that says orumhomes.com, they're much more likely to get that. I'm able to get my clients competing buyers frequently, and I believe, and so do a lot of my clients believe, that I can get more out of their homes than anybody else can, certainly here in the north end of the valley. If you've got extra properties, think about this and think why, be wise. I've run into a lot of people who have multiple properties, investment properties, even people who have purchased dozens of properties, and they're thrilled because they have so much equity right now that they could take that equity and pay off a couple of their properties. But a lot of those people are in a position just like others that I've met who were in that position back in 2008 when the real estate market took a dive. And a lot of homes all of a sudden within just a couple of years were worth 30% less than they had been just a few years before. There were people who had land that went down by about 2/3 of what it had been. And a lot of those people, some of whom were worth millions of dollars, lost everything that they had. It might be more wise to sell off some of your additional rental properties and pay off a mortgage or two that you have, rather than lose everything that you've got. And this will also make it possible for down the road here for people in the younger generation that cannot get into homes to be able to get into homes. Nevertheless, be aware over in China, one of the things that's happening, one of the things that's been happening is lockdown, because this coronavirus, this COVID-19 virus, is so easily transmitted that they have been shutting down cities and counties and stopping people from leaving, even with the threat of being imprisoned for 3 months just for leaving the city or county where they've been residing, where they've been having some serious problems with this COVID-19. Because this is very, very contagious. Measles, many years back, many decades back, was so contagious that millions of people died. We won't even talk about plagues, but the fact is, this coronavirus is extremely contagious. There are those that don't want the public to know how contagious it is because they're fearful that people will, react out of fear. Without knowing what's really going on, you can't prepare to take care of your loved ones. You need to be aware of what is happening throughout the world right now. This coronavirus is spreading to other countries. And just in the last few days, some of the countries like Italy, all of a sudden their numbers just in a few days have gone up several times what they were, just in a few days. And they're not even sure how this was transmitted uh, to a lot of people, but the numbers are growing. All of a sudden, Italy has almost as many people confirmed as China had. I think it was back in the middle part of January, just a little bit over a month ago. And when you realize that the numbers are almost 100 times what they were just a month ago, might help you recognize, if you're good at math, what can happen. And like I said, uh, I spoke to a church leader and said, hey, look, if as many people contract this virus in other countries as have in China, and the numbers grow that way, they could close down schools, they could close down churches, they could close down businesses, as they've been doing in China, stopping people from even going to work. That's going to affect supply chains, and it's going to impact our economy in more ways than most people even imagine right now. If you've got numerous rental properties and you've got people that are paying just fine, that could change within just a few months. Most people don't have a few months of reserve income, and if they were unable to work or were hospitalized, a member of their family, chances are they would probably be told not to go to work themselves because they don't want other people contracting it. You're going to see supply chains affected. And this is going to happen sooner than people think. It's probably going to affect your rental properties. And I would be surprised if we don't see real estate prices affected here and real estate prices actually declining. I will be pleasantly surprised, but at the same time, I'm going to be fine either way. I don't own property right here in Utah right now. We're actually renting, believe it or not. I sold the properties that I had here, and I would like to buy another property for our own single family residence, but I feel like I need to get something that's near other family members that are aging, and so I'm watching for just the right property. But the fact of the matter is, this coronavirus is, and I've been thinking about saying something for a while, for me just to ignore this any longer would be, really, I don't know, I think unkind, because people need to be aware of what's going on. There's a very real possibility that we could see the real estate prices changing. In fact, very possibly declining. That doesn't mean that people shouldn't buy, because they may be able to get a good price on a home right now, but a better price on a mortgage, their mortgage rate may make it worth it for them to get into a property even though they're not in one. And but holding on to numerous additional rental properties may or may not be a good idea for you. You're welcome to give me a call if you have any questions. I may be able to answer those for you. I've been in the real estate industry a long time, and I only work now helping both buyers and sellers. I haven't been accepting appraisals for a while. If someone can pay me enough to make me feel like it's worth it for me to do an appraisal for them, I'll be happy to. But if you need help in selling a property, you're welcome to give me a call. And I won't do an appraisal. I can certainly do the research and give you a pretty dang good idea what I'm likely to be able to get out of your property. I have a pretty good track record of getting out of people's property what I've told them I believed I could get. That could be changing, and it could be changing here in the near future. So be aware, be wise. This is Rod, Appraiser Broker, and I hope you have a wonderful day.